together south of Atlanta. In fact, on Thursday, November 21st at 7 p.m., the next edition of Hometown Novel Nights with 4 published Georgia authors will take place at Rogers Barbecue, Hogansville, located just off of I-85, exit 29. We're looking forward to filling up their banquet room. But let's not get ahead of ourselves this morning. We will share more details in just a few moments. But first, his friends and family know him as Mike. However, he also goes by T.M. Brown, an award-winning local Southern author who proudly calls Coweta County home.
Good morning, Brian, and good morning to the WQEE Rock the Key listening audience. Hey, before we get started, I have to ask a question. Did I miss something in October? At the beginning of the month, you and I were sweltering in this place. I think there was a Friday where fall happened, and all of a sudden on the following Saturday, it was wintertime. This is crazy this morning. But hey, y'all, just stay bundled up, and you can come out and enjoy some of these indoor events that we do at Hometown Novel Nights, because we always leave the lights on and the heat. So come on out. Just kind of a look back, as I always try to do, looking back this past month, which has been a phenomenally busy month. I was just joking with Ryan and my special guest, Angie, today, about how, it seems like it's been forever since I was here last, but it's also because we've had so much going on. So let me just kind of bring you back a little bit to remind you of what's taken place just in this past month. At the Noonan Carnegie Library back on October 10th, we had 3 great authors there. We competed with the hometown, the homecoming parade for Noonan High School. But as soon as it was over, people climbed upstairs and got to enjoy Roger Johns from Douglasville, award-winning crime novelist, Kim Sullivan from Sonoya, and D.K. Marley from Barnesville was there with her novels that are set in the Shakespearean era. And it was just a fun night. It was a great, entertaining night. And speaking of Roger Johns, this Thursday night, yours truly is going to be with Roger up at Story on the Square, a phenomenal new bookstore in McDonough, at 6 o'clock. We're going to be talking about the enduring fascination that we all have for mystery and suspense novels and what that encompasses. And we invite anybody that wants to, travel over, happen to be over in McDonough Thursday night. Come on in, and you can get your favorite beverage there as well. They've got a full-service bar right there in the middle of their bookstore. So, come on over. But also, Southern Fried Books. I can't say enough about what Steve McConaughey and the Southern Fried Book people are doing over there. They're expanding the bookstore. There's been new bookshelves put in this past month. They've added a new children's area for children's books and a reading area. They're going to be adding reading events for children each and every week. They've got a middle grade and a young adult section added, along with just shelves and shelves and shelves of more and more bestsellers and local interest books. I really encourage you to stop in. One of the things that I realized this past month was during the fall art walk, and then right after that was the Oktoberfest. Folks meandered into the bookstore amazed at what Southern Fried Books had on the shelf already, and they had never been in there before. So please take the time to visit Southern Fried Books at 29 Jackson Street. It's just a little over 2 blocks from historic Court Square here in Noonan, and I think you'll be quite impressed with what they're doing over there. And you'll be, matter of fact, a holiday sip and see event this Friday night. If you're in town during that, just meander on down there and see what's going on. By the way, there's plenty of parking down there too. The old the Wishbone parking lot, backside of the Wishbone parking lot is available still right there. So you can park there and meander on up into Court Square. The other thing that I'd like to try to do, I started last month, book of the month. And I thought about it, and I thought about it, and I thought about it. And then all of a sudden, some of y'all have seen the article in the paper, in the Noonan Times-Herald, about Shelley Woodham Phillips. She ended up getting a national award from the 2019 Author Academy out of Ohio, where she flew up there to receive her Best Book Award for self-help. Her new book out is When in Doubt, Delete It. The title itself tells you what her self-help guidance is. If it isn't good for you, get rid of it. I mean, that's just, but to meet Shelley is a real treat. She was with us not long ago down in Hogansville. She's going to be actually at our next Monarch House for Sunday event at the end of this month, November 24th at 2 o'clock. Her and Toby Nix are going to be making an appearance at that event. So, we invite you to come out and take advantage of Shelley. But if you get a chance, take a look up Shelley Phillips with her When in Doubt, a deleted book. I think you'll really, really enjoy that award-winning book. Before I talk to you a little bit more about the quartet of authors we've got lined up coming up in a week from Thursday, let me also talk to you a little bit more about this newest venue we have, the Monarch House. And seated with me this morning as my guest is Miss Angie Gallion, who was there opening up, her and Scott.
I was there opening up, yeah.
What did you think about the Monarch House?
I thought it was great. It's an opportunity for us to give back to our community. The Monarch House, of course, is an assisted living facility, and it just has some great residents who maybe don't always get out and come to our events. So we took it to them, and I think it was a great venue.
Yeah, absolutely. They have their own book club there.
Mm-hmm.
It's called the Monarch Literati. And I get to do some book readings for them once in a while. And I was so pleased to see their enthusiasm for listening to Scott talk, because he himself is always entertaining.
He's always entertaining.
Angie, you always bring the show. And these folks just listened, but as their friends and their family members are aware of what we're doing there, they'll be joining us.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? There's enough room at the Monarch House on their main floor, which is an extraordinary facility there. There's plenty of room. If you want to have something, a fun event on a Sunday afternoon beginning at 2 o'clock on the 24th of November, come on by. You will be shocked to see the facilities there. It's as good as any five-star hotel that you're going to find in the big city when you walk into this place. But we would invite you to come on out and enjoy an hour or so talking about with books. And what we've got coming up this time is, again, I mentioned before, it's Shelley Woodham Phillips and bringing her bubbling personality along with the inevitable Toby Nix. Toby, you can shoot me later. Don't do that literally, because he's also a sheriff's deputy, investigator, I should say now. But Toby is a columnist, writer also for the New York Times Herald, and he has his books out as well, and he's just fun to be around. So both of them will be there and should provide a lot of entertainment. We have refreshments and door prizes during that particular event. And then, I just want to make a real quick plug. If you check your calendar, December 12th will be our Christmas Hometown Novel Night event at the Noonan Carnegie Library. And we've got 3 great authors that will be there. Jedwin Smith is a retired AJC journalist. He's traveled all over the world over his career for the Atlanta Journal. He's an award-winning and best-selling author on top of it. And he's a good friend of mine who encouraged me when I was first writing Sanctuary. And he's going to be there with his wife, and they're just a fascinating couple. They just got back from Israel and have a new book out about Israel, actually. Then Larissa Reinhardt's going to be there, and she's from Fayetteville. She's another award-winning, best-selling author with tons of stuff to share with everybody. And then, the final author that we have there is, I know who.
Mike Brown.
Yeah, yours truly was there. I've got my Christmas in Shiloh themed books that I'm going to be kind of reading from a little bit during that event, because it is a Christmas event that we're doing on December 12th. So put that on your calendar. And then a week from this Thursday, again, it was mentioned at the opening of the show, we're going to be back at the Hogansville Rogers Barbecue, 7 o'clock, not this Thursday, but a week from this Thursday. And we've got a quartet of authors that will be there on hand, including Noonan's own Edwina Coggle. We've got 2 authors from Fayetteville, Laura Smith Johnson and Tim Miller. And then we've got I don't even know how you describe Bobby Nash.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
Just phenomenal.
He is Mr. Author,
Extraordinary.
Extraordinary. He writes all these action thrillers, and he's got, I don't even know, 25 or 30 books on his repertoire. He is phenomenal, and he's going to be there with it, talking about his latest couple of books that have come out. So yeah, please come on out, enjoy some barbecue at Rogers Barbecue. Starts at 7 o'clock, and you get to eat while we're having our little hometown novel night thing in that banquet room. So, and if you are interested, you can go on to our websites and pick up the entire future 2020 hometown novel night schedule, and with as many authors that are already booked well into the next summer. That's how great it's been, and I want to thank Southern Fried Books for all of the support, making these events so attractive to so many great authors that are coming our way in 2020. So that's awesome. But enough of all that jib jab. How about let's talk to our special guest this morning, Miss Angie Gallion. She's not only become a really good friend for Connie and I, but she's also a co-founder of Hometown Novel Nights with me. She gets bashful when I say that, but if it wasn't for her, I probably wouldn't have done this. She's a first-class award-winning author in her own right with her Allison Hayes coming-of-age novels. And she's got her first standalone new thriller that just came out not long ago.
It came out this summer, so it came out in July of 2000.
Yeah, Off the Dark Ledge.
Off the Dark Ledge.
And I know that Connie's already drooled over it, so
oh, yay.
That's awesome. And it's on my TBR pile, which is about 3 feet tall on,
yes.
on my bedstand. I have to admit, it's hard for me to have time to read as much as that I have the opportunity to do. So, but in her spare time, when you got nothing else better to do, she's an editor, a mother of two, active young girls. Her and her husband live in Sharpsburg, she makes Coweta County and the Noonan area a better place because she's here.
Oh.
So Angie, now that I've given you that wonderful introduction, you can tell the truth and tell us a little bit about yourself.
There is nothing else to say. Oh my goodness. Now, I am a lifelong lover of words, and my first book of the Allison Hayes journey, which is Intoxic, took me 25 years to finish because I didn't have any confidence to share it. And when I finally did share it, the person I shared it with was very motivational, and she really encouraged me to do something with it. So I found an editor, and the next thing I knew, it was receiving awards and being recognized, and I was getting emails from people I had never met who had read this little book that I thought nobody would read, asking me if there was a second book. And I had not thought about that because I really just felt like I had to finish something. And now that I had finished something, I felt like I was done. But when people got excited about her and wanted to know where she went from here, I started thinking about it, and 3 other books came from that series. So there are now 4 books in that series, and she has a nice little bow packaging her up, and I'm just so proud of how she grew up and turned into an amazing person. It's much less a coming-of-age series now than women's fiction, because it's about how she finds a path out of chaos toward calm. And that's what people connected to. People connected to a girl who was struggling not to follow the path that she was set on. And that was really exciting for me. But when I closed out that series, I actually wrote the last book in that series at the same time I was writing Off the Dark Ledge. So, and Off the Dark Ledge is a psychological thriller. And it was not the book I set out to write, as often is the case, but whenever I would get stuck on one, I would go back and work on the other one. So they sort of bounced off of each other, and that was kind of an exciting experience for me. I felt like I was doing NaNoWriMo on crack. It was crazy. But Off the Dark Ledge, I feel like is kind of my breakthrough novel. It is, it's something that crosses the bounds. So I have a whole different type of audience that likes that book than who liked Allison Hayes. It seems like the people who like the Allison Hayes journey are people who've lived a little life, who have some trauma in their own background, who can relate to somebody trying to find a better path. But Off the Dark Ledge seems like you don't have to have that trauma in your past, and you can just pick it up and enjoy it because the characters are well drawn and the situation is fascinating and it sucks you right in. So that's my latest. But I do feel like that's kind of a breakthrough novel for me.
Now, where can people get your novels?
I am available everywhere. Now, I'm not big enough yet for Barnes & Noble or any of the standalone bookstores to really house me, to give me shelf space, because I'm just not well known enough, which, of course, is going to
But y'all can help make that happen.
Yes. So, but if you go into any of those standalone bookstores, they can order me. I am available to everybody. You can also find me, of course, on Amazon and all the online retailers that you would have. And you can go to my website and you can pick them up there.
What about in town here?
In town here, you can find them up here on the square. They're at the Corner Arts
The
Gallery.
Corner Arts Gallery, yeah.
Yep, they're up there. And I think I need to resupply them right now because they're pretty low on stock. I haven't got him into Southern Karma yet, but I need to talk to him and see if I can't make that happen. So I've just been a little lackadaisical in my promotional efforts this last year. So
Just like you got nothing else better to do.
nothing else better to do. But I do have to tell you that I've got actually 2 other projects that I'm working on. One I just completed that took me about 1.5 years and was a real struggle to get through. It's probably the most complicated of the pieces that I've ever worked on. And I actually despaired about 3/4 in that I was never going to finish it. But it finally did wrap itself up, and I'm really proud of it. I sent it out to my editor a couple weeks ago, and she was very pleased. And now we are pitching it to larger publishing houses. So I think it's time for me to have a bigger platform.
Yeah, you've got a phenomenal resume, and I know that you've got a great following that's, well beyond just local for your books. And I have no doubt in my mind that doors are going to get open for you.
I'm hoping so.
With a really big publishing name for sure. I have no doubt in my mind.
Thank you, Mike.
Before I divert to asking the typical question I ask a lot of my special guests, for you, I'd love for you to kind of give your insight on Hometown Novel Nights and what's happening with that. And I know there's another event taking place at Southern Fried Books Thursday night while I'm in McDonough. It's
Southern Crescent Literature and Libations.
Yeah, Literature and Libations. There you go.
That's it.
It's a mouthful. But they've got 3, very notable authors that'll be there at Southern Fried Books, and they're hosting it. So tell me a little bit about what your take is on the Hometown Novel Night aspect, along with what's going on in other arenas, bringing authors to the local crowd.
I love it. So Mike gives me credit for being a co-founder in Hometown Novel Nights, but this was totally his baby, and he just let me in on it when I was so excited. Yeah. Because what I love about what he was going to do was that before Mike started Hometown Novel Nights, everybody who was a Southern writer south of Atlanta, if we wanted any exposure, we had to go to Atlanta or beyond to get into anything. And, that's a 2.5-hour drive. I'm a mom with kids, and I can't take all that time to be away from my family. My husband's job is very busy, and he's often traveling, so I have to be there for them, and I can't make them stay up late for me to go to Atlanta and them tag along so that I can go present myself in front of people. So when he said he wanted to start something down here, I said, oh my gosh, please let me help. I want to be involved. Any way you can use me, I will be there. And that's exactly what he's done. He's given us a venue to put ourselves out there in front of a reading audience and to bring talented writers to anxious readers. So it's just been a phenomenal thing, and it's really taken off. I've been so pleased with the response by readers and so pleased with the response by authors. I know we have a waiting list right now to get into the Hometown Novel Night venues.
Yeah, actually what was happening too, Angie, right now, this is the irony of it all. We started Hometown Novel Nights so that local authors here could have a local audience to relate to.
Yep.
It's because we were tired of going to Atlanta.
Yes.
Now we have the Atlanta authors that have heard about Hometown Novel Nights
and want to come down.
Yep. I also we've got a new author out of the Macon area that wants to drive up. I got one that's coming from the Valdosta area that wants to come up for an event. I've got an author coming, a famous author that's coming from Sugar Hill, Miss Ann Mulligan, for one of the Monarch.
Yeah. She's coming for the Monarch House?
She's coming to the Monarch House
be fun.
because she likes the Sunday afternoon drive from Sugar Hill. And then I just received an email. You know Andy Messer, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, from Savannah.
Yeah.
He says, tell me about this. Hometown.
You mean Adam?
Adam,
Adam,
yes, thank you.
yeah.
Yeah, Adam Messer. he sent an email saying, "Hey, send me more information. I'm interested." So the word's getting out there.
It is getting
now,
out there.
I don't know how many people are going to commute.
And Adam has a huge network in the Savannah area.
Yeah.
So I mean, if he's excited about it, that means that other people in Savannah are excited about it.
Well,
so,
it's a credit to all of the social media that's getting done, and this young lady next to me is the responsible party for the social media.
I like social media.
So she does fantastic. If only I could get all my book stuff done by her, I might even really make the bigger New York Times list. Who knows?
Who knows?
But to divert back, Angie, I'd like to ask you a question because I do ask this of all my special guests. Tell me, what are your favorite authors and favorite books, and why?
Okay, so like I said, I've been an avid reader all of my life, so I could go way back, but I'm not going to. I'm going to talk to you about the ones that speak to me now and continue to speak to me. The Ken Follett Kingsbridge series is phenomenal. It is such a peaceful, slow-paced, exciting book that I can't even comprehend the writing process for that book. And what I love about that especially that first one, and The Pillars of the Earth,
Right,
is that he wrote that, he started that when he was 25. And it took him many years to finish it. And he actually walked away from it for several years because he said that he wasn't mature enough to write that novel. And I feel like I can identify, because my first book took me 25 years because I didn't know enough to understand what I was writing. And he also talked about how that was a word of mouth book, which I'm so excited about, because I think that if I ever make it big, it's going to be because people talked about what I did.
Yes,
it's not because I have a big backing. It's not because I have lots of money to put toward promotion. It's because people are going to connect with the characters I create, and they're going to talk about them. So the Ken Follett, that series in particular, I absolutely love. And then my favorite, my all-time probably favorite writer is Maggie Stiefvater, who is a YA writer, and she writes for Scholastic. But she is one of the most creative and talented people I've ever come across. Her characters are so multi-leveled and dimensional that I just feel like I know them. When I finished her 4-book series, The Raven Cycle, I was so sad. I mean, I was legitimately depressed because these characters were done, and I wasn't going to be able to know what they did next. And that takes real skill for me to feel that way. So she's probably my favorite writer right now. I'm actually listening to that series right now. I've just introduced The Raven Cycle to my older daughter, who's 10. Both my daughters are 10, but one's 6 months older than the other. And she's an avid reader, and she is not interested in kid books. She wants something that's a little more mature. She's intelligent. She's thinking. So I just opened the door for her to read a Maggie Stiefvater book, which is The Scorpio Races.
Awesome.
And she's getting into it. And I'm so impressed because she's just at an intellectual level that is beyond her age.
That's fantastic. Well, I wish I was as smart as Ken Follett, because that man is,
incredible.
Yeah, that's just
Incredible.
incredible. Well, let me ask this then, because I know you're well read on top of things. Is there one particular book or one particular author that really has had the biggest impact and influence on you as a writer?
S.E. Hinton's The Outsiders was huge for me when I was young. I started writing when I was in the 3rd grade. I was what I always call, I say I was an invisible child. I had older siblings who were much brighter and shinier than I was, and so I felt very invisible behind them. And so when I read S.E. Hinton's book, The Outsiders, which she wrote at 15 years old.
Oh, wow.
Right? She wrote that at 15 years old. I so identified with that. Not that I was a greaser or not that I was a soc or anything like that, but just that she understood the experience I was living through in my life, because I didn't fit in anywhere. And that's how Ponyboy felt. He didn't really belong. And so I really identified with that. And so that was probably the first book that made me think about character development, because it made me relate to those characters in a different way than anything I'd ever read. I mean, you come up and you read Call of the Wild and you're relating to a wolf, and that's all great, but when you finally capture a kid and you're like, oh wait, he's not perfect and it's okay, and they made bad choices, and that's kind of exciting, and he suffered some consequences, and that's real. And it just really impacted me in the way I write. So you'll never see me writing about a perfect character, they're never ideal people. They're always flawed in some very significant way, just like I am and just like you are. I know,
We
Mike.
have all sinned and come short.
We all have flaws. But
Yeah.
I think it's very exciting to develop a character that people can relate to.
Sure.
And so, yes, I would have to say The Outsiders.
Well,
was
there's
a
an
good
old
one.
adage, there's only basically 7 storylines that you can create, but there's an unlimited number of characters and settings to which
That's
you can put those
exactly
stories
right.
in, and people buy into that, and they
Yep.
buy into your characters.
Absolutely.
Well, Angie, I really appreciate you being here today, and folks, please go get a hold of Angie's books. Walk in at the Corner Arts Gallery and grab her books there, or tell Jenny to get some more from her.
Or spend some time on my website. I
Or
have a great website.
walk into Southern Fried Books here in Noonan and say, hey, can you get me this book from
Mm-hmm.
Angie? And maybe Steve will start stocking them over there. That would be awesome. But I'm really pleased that you're here. You are a pal, and we could not do, and I want to include Scott Ludwig in this. He's part of this
Yep,
Hometown Novel Night
he
team.
is.
We couldn't be able to do all that we're doing with the schedule we've got now for 2020 coming up.
It's insane.
It's
coming up.
fantastic. So-
2020 is going to be big.
Yeah. If you'd like to know more, about what's up, what's going on in the future months with in the monthly panels and who's on deck, you can always go to on Facebook. It's at WGA Hometown Novel Nights on Facebook, or you can go to my author webpage at tmbrown.com, author.com, and there's a Hometown Novel Night tab that'll take you where you need to go with all of the information that you need. We're also on Instagram at Hometown Novel Night. So, you can go there as well. Angie's got us all set up on social media, so there's plenty of places. When you're signing up to look at a different event that you might be going to, if there is a ticket event to it, they are free. It just helps us if you make a reservation to kind of do some advanced planning for the seating, particularly at the Carnegie event. For sure. We kind of like to know what's going on in the Monarch event. It helps us as well. So, please do that. And I want to put out invite your friends when you come, and book clubs. I know there's a lot of book clubs in this area. We invite you to the Hometown Novel Nights. Why not get to meet these authors and see what they've written and find out some new books that you would enjoy? So we invite you to come to the Hometown Novel Nights different author programs. It's a great opportunity to get a sneak peek at a potential author for your club events. Don't forget to mark down December 12th, definitely at the Noonan Carnegie with the Christmas event there. And this coming on November 24th at the Monarch House at 2 o'clock. And I don't want to ever forget, a week from Thursday, Hogansville, mouth-watering barbecue at Stribling's, at Rogers Barbecue with Tony Stribling, who just got elected, by the way.
I know. Congratulations,
Hogansville
Tony.
Councilwoman. So we've got some pull in Hogansville now. I'm really proud of what Tony was able to get, to win on that. So on behalf of Angie Gallion, our special guest today, and the Hometown Novel, and my Hometown Novel buddy, the entire Hometown Novel Nights family of authors, Corner Arts Gallery and Studios, and of course our sponsor, Southern Fried Books. Thank you. Please visit Southern Fried Books. Tell them I sent you. It's also nice that they know that what your listeners are hearing this and are wandering into their store as a result of it. We appreciate that very much. We'll be back here next month on December 10th at 9:30 a.m. So at this point, Ryan, thank you again, and we'll see you next month. And thank you to WQEE audience.
For those who would like to find out more about the future schedule of Hometown Novel Night events, visit Hometown Novel Nights on Facebook or visit Mike's author page at tmbrownauthor.com. And there is a page dedicated to Hometown Novel Nights there as well. You can also visit at Southern Fried Books on Facebook, or better yet, stop in and visit their store at 29 Jackson Street in downtown Noonan. This has been the Hometown Novel Nights radio show, hosted by T.M. Brown. See you next time.